everybody, it's Caroline. I want to talk to you guys today about young hens and what to expect when young hens first start laying their eggs. Now this little girl, she's Betsy, she's a golden comet. She's what they call a red sex-link variety. They're production hens, and so you can expect to have at least 5 eggs a week from these beautiful young ladies. Now Betsy here started laying at the beginning of August. I got her when she was a week old on April 10th. Now, a lot of hen breeds don't lay that fast, but this breed has. And I've gotten almost one egg, one beautiful brown egg. I'll show you right here. I'm getting one of these from my golden comets and my Isa browns, which are also red sex links, almost every other day, one of these. Now this is because they're young. You can expect that they will lay more eggs as they mature to about 1 year to 2.5 years is when you're going to get most production out of these girls. However, it is a myth that a hen lays an egg every day. That's not true. It depends on the breed and it depends on the environment and what you're feeding. So let me just put Betsy here away and I'll show you what I do to get wonderful tasting, healthy, clean, farm fresh eggs every day. Come on, Betsy. Let's go back to your friends. Now, the first thing I do, well, first of all, let me go over when do you know when your hens start to lay. A hen is going to, when you know the hen's going to lay, she's going to do bizarre behaviors. She might be very vocal. She might be acting very hyper. Usually these are signs that she's about to lay. Also, she will be more submissive to you because she views you as a rooster if you do not have a rooster. They will be doing a submissive stance where they will crouch down and they will put their wings up like this. That is, they're saying to the rooster that they view as you may mount me. So I know that's a little disgusting, but that is one cue you can get from your hen when you know, okay, she's doing that, that means that she's ready to be mounted, and so I know that she will be producing eggs very soon, if not that day or within the week. So these are the things though that you also want to pay attention to. Chickens have what are called waddles. Let me show you here. I shouldn't have put Betsy away. Pearl. So this is Pearl. As you can see, she was doing that stance again where she was putting her wings up because she thought I was going to mount her. That means she is ready to lay, and she has been laying for a while. So first of all, things to look for on your hen. To know that, okay, my hen's gonna start laying soon, she's maturing, she's turning into a woman. You're gonna be getting, this is called the comb. You're gonna be getting a noticeable comb on your hen. Now every comb is different. It depends on the breed of chicken. There are like 8 different kinds of combs. This is, oh gosh, what kind of comb is this? Oh, I can't even remember. A single comb. For leghorns, they tend to flop over, as you can see. So she's been laying for a while. Her comb is very pronounced. Also, you're going to notice that they're going to be developing larger, what they're called waddles, underneath their chin. So this girl has very large waddles. She's been laying for a while. Other things you're going to notice about the hen, if you look at them and you look at the rear, you will notice that they're basically the hole that they go to the bathroom with, they lay their eggs, that is going to be enlarging and it will be more moist, allowing an egg to slip out, to be able to come out. So these are things to notice on your hen when she's about to lay. Right, Pearl? You're a good girl. Thank you for being a good demonstrator. Maybe your hens are already to that stage and you're still not getting a great production of eggs. Well, let me tell you. First of all, like I said, it depends on the breed you have. Certain heritage breeds, maybe like your Rhode Island Reds, your Silver-Laced Wyandottes, your Buff Orpingtons. They're not going to be laying as fast as the breeds that I have, the Sex Links, the White Leghorns, because these breeds have been bred to be high producers of voluminous amounts of eggs, where the heritage breeds are slower growing, but they're supposed to be more hardy. So that could be one reason. Another reason is maybe you don't have a hen, maybe it's a rooster. There is a chance that that could be. But you would probably know by now because the rooster would be crowing. Another reason why you might not be getting a lot of eggs. Maybe your hens are stressed. Do you live by a busy road? Do you have a lot of coyotes going by your coop? Is the family dog tormenting them, or your children? Are they running back and forth around the chickens? Chickens need a calm environment. They are very, very sensitive creatures, not only to smells, but to noise and other things. You know, they're constantly being worried that they're going to be attacked by something, because most every animal likes chicken, including humans. So they're very wary. So any type of change to their environment can impact the amount that they lay. For example, we had some tree trimmers come by our property a couple weeks ago, and we've been getting about 5 eggs a day from the 10 chickens that we have. And that day, I only got 2 eggs. Why? Because the tree trimmers were in our backyard, they're making a lot of noise with the saws, they were scaring the hens with the noise, therefore we didn't get a lot of eggs that day. So it could be that you have too many stressors that are impacting the hen's ability to lay eggs. That's another thought to ponder. So evaluate where you have your coop and what kind of noises are going on. Another thing that could be affecting your egg production. Are you feeding your hens a quality feed? Now, I get my chick feed, my hen feed at Tractor Supply. It's a great feed. I can show you here. It's the Tractor Supply house brand. It's made by Kramer Feeds out of Pennsylvania. It's called Do More. Now, they have a bunch of varieties of different feed. They have regular feed and they have organic. They have crumble and pellet. Depends on what you want. Now, I decided to go with the organic feed because I figure, hey, I might as well be ingesting the best nutrients that I can, since I'm growing my own hens, and I would like to have the best quality. So I went with the Do More organic non-GMO feed. Now, I believe this is a great feed. I've gotten great tasty eggs out of this feed. The hens are doing wonderful, and I'm using a crumble, and it's 16% protein. Now, that's another thing. You do not want to go below 16% protein. They need protein to lay eggs. They need protein for their feathers. All of their feathers are made up of protein. So they need this. So the protein that they're ingesting is going into making quality eggs for you. Otherwise, if you have like a really low protein, like I've seen 14% protein, 13%, you might not be getting as many eggs or a great quality egg if you're going lower than 16%. Also, another thing that you're going to need, I have my whole setup here. You're going to need oyster shells. So oyster shells, you can get them at Tractor Supply, Farm and Fleet, feed stores, feed stores. Oyster shells are basically, they're crushed, and it's a great source of calcium. That's another thing that they need. They need a lot of calcium in their diet. So if you're not feeding them the supplemental oyster shells, or what you can also do is take their eggshells and crack them up, the eggshells, and bake them in the oven, clean them off, bake them in the oven. To me, that just seems like a lot of work. I'd rather just pay the, $8 for a huge bag of oyster shells. So they need this, and if they're not given this supplement, they're not going to lay a lot of eggs, one, because the little calcium that they are ingesting from the food is not enough to have a hard-shelled egg. So that's where the calcium is going for their body. So they need it. They need a lot of calcium to lay the hard-shelled eggs and to lay eggs, period. Another thing that they're going to need is they're going to need grit, especially if you are not free ranging them and they're not able to pick up little rocks and pebbles. They need grit. So you can buy a big bag. This is by Mana Pro. I got it at Tractor Supply. It's insoluble crushed granite. So they need this because obviously, as we all know, hens do not have teeth, or roosters. They need this grit in their system to break down all of that food that they're eating to be able to digest it and absorb the nutrients. So if hens and roosters are not getting grit, you're not going to get a lot of eggs either. Another reason why you might not be getting eggs is that they're sick. They could have worms. So one cue to let you know, maybe my hens aren't doing well. If you look, so I'm always inspecting my hens on a weekly basis. So if your hens have a lot of poopy on their butt, in their feathers dripping down their butt, they're sick. Most likely, if they're free ranging them, they have worms. Now, a hen can live with worms. You can even eat an egg from a hen that has worms. But if it's a terrible infestation of worms, you will know it because the eggs will actually have worms in it that you don't want to eat. But that could be another reason why they're not laying eggs. They're sick. So what I use to prevent those kinds of things from happening to my hens, well, number one, I do not free range my hens. It's not that I don't want it. The reason why I don't free range is because we have so many hawks and we have so many coyotes, predator animals in our area. And I don't want to have to replace my flock because they're like family. They're my pets. I don't want to have to replace them every year. I mean, that's really, first of all, you're wasting a lot of money in my opinion because unless you're buying ready to lay pullets, and that's going to cost you a lot, you have to raise these chicks up, and that takes, from April to August before they even start laying. So it's just a lot, and I would rather just stick with the hens I have and let them have a great home. And as they, tend to pass away, I will replace them with chicks and integrate them into the flock as best as, hopefully it'll all work out. But if not, I can always have the other stall and make that another flock of hens. But yeah, so one thing I use apple cider vinegar. Now, I just got this at Walmart. It's a huge thing, but you can buy apple cider vinegar at most stores. You want to buy the apple cider vinegar with the mother. That's the unfiltered raw stuff that has the good nutrients in it, those elements that help us as people and help animals. So I put this in their water twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and you want to make sure that you have the proper amount. So you want to, I don't really measure it or anything like that, but if you pour too little in your water jug for them, then you could be causing problems. If you pour too much, you could be causing problems. So you kind of want the right amount. So you want about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar per gallon of water. So that's what I do, and I think this helps them. They haven't gotten sick yet. They haven't had drippy poos off their rears. I also use, now you have to be very careful with this stuff. I got this at Farm and Fleet, but Tractor Supply sells it as well. It is food grade diatomaceous earth. And what it is, it's fossil shell flour. It is very, very fine. You do not want to breathe this in. You can develop problems if you keep breathing it in over time. So whenever I use this, I either hold my nose, or if it's just gonna be like a little sprinkle, or I will put on a mask, especially when I'm cleaning out the coop. So what I do with this stuff, I put a little bit in their food. So I put, let's see, if you have one of those huge bags, a 40-pound bag, I would put about a cup of that, sprinkle it in your food, and kind of mix it around in your hand. This helps to prevent, kill off internal parasites. It also works externally. So I also sprinkle a little bit, like I have a little plastic spoon, and I just sprinkle a little bit of that, like maybe like a half a teaspoon in each nesting box, as well as sprinkling just a little bit on the floor. And I also sprinkle some in their run where they've made a dust bath for themselves. So when they kind of get that all in their fur, that diatomaceous earth, that's going to kill any parasite. Lice, mites, flies don't like it. And I have to say that compared to other friends' coops that I've been into, I have a very, very small fly population in there. I only see maybe like 2 to 3 flies, even on a hot day, because I believe it's because of this stuff. They don't like it because they can't breathe. It's suffocating them. So this is another thing that you might want to look into, but do your research. I did my research. I have friends that have backyard chickens and choose not to use this stuff because they're afraid that the chicken's breathing it in, it's going to be harmful to them. But my opinion is that most feed stores carry this. A lot of people swear by it. It's been around for years, and everyone that I know that uses this stuff has not had a visible problem with lice and mites getting on their chickens and causing a problem. Because once you get a lice or mite infestation, it's a very annoying thing. You have to dust each of your chickens' rear ends. You have to clean out and dust and sanitize the whole coop. And depending on how many chickens you have, it might not be that bad if you only have 3 or 4. But let's say you have 20 chickens, like my friend. That was really annoying for her to have to do this and tend to each chicken each day. So I really recommend this diatomaceous earth. You can get it at Tractor Supply and Farm and Fleet. You can probably find it on Amazon as well. It's not expensive. I believe I paid like, I don't know, $8 for this, and it's 2.5 pounds worth, and it's lasted me a long time. I bought this in April when I got my chicks, and it's I still have about half left. So it's now going into, what is it, August 31st today. So again, it's not going to break your bank. Another thing that I do to keep my chickens healthy, so I get a great amount of eggs out of them, and that they live happy, healthy lives. So if you have a happy, healthy chicken, you're going to get lots of fresh eggs, lots of farm fresh eggs. I change their water every day. Sometimes if I go in there, because I go into the coop at least twice a day to check on them, because you have to make sure when it's really hot out that they have cool water and it's not sitting in the sun. So usually I'll put ice in there for them, but I'm always changing their water every day because chickens aren't the cleanest animals. Let's face it, they walk in their poops, and if they're kicking up, they're scratching, they're going to be flinging pine shavings and straw and their feces everywhere. So you want to make sure that you have clean water for your chickens daily. That's another reason. Never let their food get too low. They always need food, and they always need a constant supply of fresh water. So if you do all those things, and another thing, have a clean coop. Chickens, you can tell, even though they walk in their poop, they want to be clean animals, because the minute I dump out that dirty water and replace it with fresh, clean, cool water from our pump over here, they all go to it. They're like, thank you, it tastes so good. And whenever I clean out the coop and put in fresh new pine shavings and straw and that diatomaceous earth that I sprinkle all around, they love it. They're so excited. So again, you need to have a clean coop. If you walk into your chicken coop and the smell practically knocks you over, makes you want to throw up, you've waited way too long to clean that thing. Now, of course, you're going to have little odd smells because chickens, I think it's every 10 poops, they lay a cecal poop, which is darker, runny, and has a very strong odor. But if it's a constant smell that knocks your socks off and smells really bad like ammonia, you need to clean that coop out, because these guys, these hens and roosters, they are, like I said, sensitive creatures, and if it's bad for you, and for example, example, I'm 5'10". Think about what it's like for those hens, those little itty bitty hens down there, and they're having to smell that right in their face. So again, clean, happy, healthy hens equals lots of farm fresh eggs for you. So I hope you guys learned something for this. Having chickens is a really easy, rewarding hobby, and I'm not trying to make it seem like it's a lot of work, but you just have to have these few little things that really help your hens to lead happy, healthy lives and make lots of wonderful, farm fresh, tasty eggs for you and your family. So I hope you guys have a great day, enjoy what's left of our summer, and God bless.